Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 7th episode of the Grief for Hour podcast. I'm here with Vic, as always.
What's up?
So, Vic, how was your weekend?
I was good, buddy. How was yours?
Pretty good, except my sister had some issues with her car this weekend that I had to be the good brother and help her out with.
Oh, well, at least you were a good brother.
Yeah, well, so I got my first experience working with AAA. Let's run through the timeline.
Okay.
Saturday, set up a time with AAA. They say they're going to be there in 2.5 hours. Oh, by the way, her car is parked in the student housing parking lot.
Yep.
And it's all parked in, can't get at it at all. So set this up, 2.5 hours, come back. They're not there. Half hour later, I'm like, whatever, I'm done. So I cancel it. Sunday, I've set up another appointment. The AAA guy follows up. And you're like, all right, half hour, cool. I actually get a call. He shows up. He starts the car. I'm like, finally, I'm out of the woods. So me being the nice brother, I take her car to Quick Trip. And I'm like, I'm going to fill it up with gas. No problem. And mind you, I drove the car all the way across town. So I'm like, all right, this should be fine. Nope. Pull in, turn the car off, go to release the gas. Not working. Try to start the car. Dead. And it's dead. Like, not even making a clicking noise. Nothing.
Oh, man. I've had that happen. I feel that. That's rough.
Yep. So I went in the store and I asked the manager to get some help with, I don't know, jumper cables, whatever. Jumper cables didn't work. Didn't do anything. The only thing that got the car started again was they had one of those battery jumper pack things. And
okay. Yeah. I'm with you.
Yes. So it started right away. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm getting this back to her parking lot, parking it in the back in a spot that can easily be accessible. So I take it back, park it, and I let it sit for 20 minutes running because I'm like, all right, maybe it just need to run more. Get done, turn it off, try to turn it on, nothing. So I think the battery's just junk.
Yeah, definitely needs a new battery. That's rough. Hate it when that happens.
It's stuff like that really grinds my gears.
It sure does, man. Well, I've loved chatting about this. Alex, we have to go to our fans and quickly chat about them. Had a wonderful rebound this week. Thank you to everyone who commented. Starting us off, Baby Drew Studios. Are the 49ers a real threat to win the NFC this year? Now, I'm going to really hope you meant the NFC West and not the entire NFC because I'd put them as a solid number 4 seed. I think they can squeeze out a West win. Their competition is the reigning Super Bowl champs who can't do anything right. Kyler, all I do is play COD Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. So I feel like that would be an easier win. I don't think they're a threat to win the NFC. They might make it past the second round or make it to the second round, my bad. But I don't think they're making it to championship week. Maybe they can knock the Dallas Cowboys out as maybe the 5 seed. That'd be great to see, wouldn't it, Alex?
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking at the standings right now. And right now the top teams in the NFC are the Eagles, the Vikings, 49ers, and then the Buccaneers.
Oh, that's right. The Buccaneers are worse. That's right.
Buccaneers are 5-6 leading that NFC South. That is a horrible division. So realistically, they're like a 3 seed.
Yeah.
Right. When it comes to the playoffs, though, I mean, they're going to have to go through either Philly or Minnesota. And do you trust Jimmy Garoppolo to bring you to the promised land?
He's made it there before. I can't tell him no, but I just think that team as a whole doesn't stand up to the caliber of teams that can make it through the NFC. I think the Eagles are pretty much a lock for the second round, if not, well, I mean, they are because they would have the first round bye as of right now. I think they're a solid NFC championship game team, at least to make it. I don't know if they'll win it and make it to the Super Bowl, but they have looked good this year, and I can't deny them that.
They have been good, and they're currently on a 5-game win streak, so it could just be a matter of getting hot at the same time.
But no, I don't think they're going to win the NFC. I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Fortunately, they're definitely on the bubble. They could make it if they make some real points to believe in them, but I haven't seen them yet. Good enough to win games, but I don't think Jimmy G is good enough to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't trust them, but you know what I do trust? Drizo asking us our next question here.
Of course.
He asked, can we expect you to be on Apple and Spotify for podcasts next year? That is a great question, Drizo, and
Really
it's something
is.
that I've been thinking about more.
Ooh.
And I'm strongly considering putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts starting next year, like January 1st or whatever, that first week.
Really?
So I'm thinking
Wow.
about pulling the trigger on that, expanding our audience a little bit more.
Can't hate it. I'd be interested. There's a lot of logistics that go into that, but you never know. Maybe it works out. Maybe we get famous that way.
Maybe
Can't
so.
deny it.
Blow up the channel.
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Next, our good friend here, William Kraus 9968 asks, where do babies come from? Asking for a friend. I'm so glad you gave this one to me. Well, when a man and a woman love each other very, very much, and they get married, hopefully, we'd like this baby to have a nice, strong foundation. It just appears out of thin air, William. There you go.
On the doorstep or
Thin air
thin air?
just happens.
Like it just apparates, like in
Yep.
Harry Potter, kind of like that.
There you go.
Okay. I've been
Perfect
wondering that
explanation.
too, because I actually didn't know. So thank you for
You're
clarifying.
welcome.
Okay. And then our final question, Drizo asks us, what would be your perfect getaway vacation? I know what mine would be. So let me explain. I don't like being super hot. I don't like sweating a ton, so I don't want to go to the typical super hot and muggy Florida. I could do dry
Agreed.
heat. I could do that, but Florida,
Agreed.
no. Give me a vacation. I'm gonna go to Europe.
Okay.
I'm gonna go somewhere new that I've never been to before. Give me Italy. I think Italy'd be a fun place to go to.
Ooh, that's a good one. Now, it's the perfect getaway vacation, Alex. Is this just you? You taking anyone with you?
It'd be me. I'd probably take my girlfriend.
Okay. Good man.
You
Good
know,
answer. Good
perfect
answer.
getaway. I'd probably take the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I definitely take the girlfriend with me. I'm kind of tempted to say Germany. Been there. It's really beautiful over the summer. I'd like to explore the parts I didn't get to go to. Since you took Italy, I'm going to let you have it. I'd like to go to Ireland.
Ooh.
That sounds really fun. But it's also really pretty. I'm gonna go to Ireland on that one. That one sounds really, really fun.
Sounds good. A lot of good quick chats we had this week for sure.
Yes, and you know what? You too can get here, viewer. Go down to the bottom, hashtag quick chats. Type in whatever question you want to ask, or maybe we'll have to make a Dropbox, Alex, if we put this on Apple and Spotify. We'll have to think
If
about
it's
that.
big enough, we'll have to start picking our favorite ones, because otherwise we'd be talking all day.
I know, man. Speaking of talking all day, one of the biggest discussions right now, Alex, is who is the best player in the NBA right now? And I got a little bit of a list here. Mainly kind of some of the guys we talked about the other week there with the MVP race, but we're going to switch up a little bit. Starting off the list from your team, we have got Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. I'll just call him Giannis from now on. Averaging around 32 points a game, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. Now, I remind you, he did drop 40 points in that loss to the Lakers. Yikes. Sorry, didn't mean to do that to you. But
embarrassing. I know.
And then there's, Skip Bayless's favorite player in the NBA, Kevin Durant, with 37 and 5. Steph Curry, not far behind, 31 points a game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Nikola Jokic, always an MVP favorite, 23 points a game, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. And, of course, from my Celtics, Jason Tatum, 31 points a game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Out of those 5 guys, Alex, who do you think the best player in the NBA is right now from those 5 guys?
Now, color me surprised, but I'm going to have to go with Giannis. Maybe a little favoritism in play here.
That's okay. That's fair.
Put it this way. I think Giannis brings a lot on the defensive side of the ball, for sure.
He definitely does.
I think he's very good offensively. He's obviously scoring a lot of points per game.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, his outside shooting is, let's just say, not super desirable.
Well, who needs outside shooting when you can just run to the rim and do whatever you want?
Right. All he has to do is run and dunk. No offense, James Harden. So, I just think I look at this list here, And Kevin Durant's great. I don't know how good he is defensively. He doesn't seem like a very physical player. He needs to get to his spot, make a shot, whereas Giannis can kind of create his own offense. Steph Curry's great. Obviously, he's more of a defensive liability. And if you look at the numbers, Giannis is averaging more points, more rebounds, and only one less assist than Curry. And he's better defensively. So I got to give him that.
Yep.
Jokic is tough because statistically, he should be the best player because he has the best win over replacement metric. He's definitely very valuable to that team. The only thing, though, is I don't know if Jokic is the guy that you can be like, oh, yeah, he's going to drop 50 tonight because he wants to. That's what I'm not sure. That's the only question mark I have.
Can definitely drop 30 if he wanted to. But you're right. He's not the lifeblood of that team there. I agree with that.
He's very much a facilitator. Like, he's a center that also... He's like a center point guard, if that makes any sense.
You definitely see that with the 9 assists per game. Definitely, which is, I'm sure, leading amongst all centers.
Easily. And then obviously Jason Tatum's really good. The only number that seems lower for him is his assists per game, and I think that's more to do with how the Celtics have their offense set up, where Tatum probably gets the ball a lot more, and they run the offense through him, so he's not deferring as much, maybe.
You know,
that's my thought with Giannis. I'd like to hear your opinion.
You know, and this might come as a little bit of a surprise to you. I'm with you. Out of those 5 guys, I think it's Giannis 1. I'm going to put Tatum at number 2 as far as this goes, and then Durant, Curry, Jokic in that order is how I would order it. Giannis is definitely that guy who can go ahead and drop 40 whenever he wants, or even 50 if he doesn't feel like giving anybody else it. He's always pretty much good for a double-double, or at least super close to it. And, hey, if the offense is flowing, I think he can get a triple-double easy. If he really wanted to and really was focusing on trying to do that.
For sure.
And just pure stats-wise, 32 points a game, 11 rebounds a game is solid and is awesome for a team. I'd like to see those stats broken down into offensive and defensive rebounds. I feel like obviously defensive rebounds are always more than offensive rebounds, but if it's like 2 to 3 offensive rebounds a game, and those turn into some of his points per game, that's really good for a team. I like Giannis as the guy who's physical enough to create his own space. He doesn't have to be fancy with any footwork or dribbling or whatever. Or he doesn't have to have a screen set for him. He can do it all himself, and he's the best all around kind of 5-tool guy. As you would say in maybe baseball or something. But, he does it on both ends of the court. There we go.
All right. Well, hey, I'm a little surprised. Like, I thought you were maybe going to go the Jason Tatum route just because he's on your team.
He's not as big and as bulky as Giannis,
Right. And that's not to take anything away from Tatum.
No. He's had a great year.
He has. He's been really good.
I hope he keeps it up, man.
Yeah. And speaking of having a great year... let's move over to the Utah Jazz, who started out the year really good, but have since, how should I say, have gone a little out of tune.
You could definitely say that. It's been a rough last couple of games, hasn't it? I believe they got a losing record.
Yeah, they're pushing it, actually. They still have a winning record, but they started out the season 10-3. Like, I think they were leading the West at one point.
They sure were.
Since then, they have gone 4-9.
And I believe, actually, since they were first in the West after this little stretch of games, I believe they're now 9th in the West.
Yeah, they've fallen off considerably. And, looking at the standings right here, the Utah Jazz... Okay, so the Utah Jazz are currently 8th in the West since their little skid. So it's not been pretty.
No, from first to play in tournament is rough. That is definitely something to keep your eye on and see if maybe where they'll be. I believe we said this. I believe, this was great for them. It's good to see them trying and not, tanking. But I believe we both called they would be like a 500 team here at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, we thought they'd be kind of average, and
they are who we thought they were.
Exactly. They're starting to settle into their role as a 500 team. It's good to see.
Not that we wish, anyone to do bad, except, LeBron James and Ben Simmons, because that's the majority of our content. But, it's nice to see we're at least right. Something that's really turned around, though, Alex, and kind of for the better is Ben Simmons. I know we were slandering him there for a little bit, and he was only getting like 5 points a game, playing all these minutes. He's now up to like 16 points a game since that point. Now, I gotta ask you though, is he gonna keep this up, or is this all for show?
It depends. I'll say that for a couple of reasons. I have a few questions. One, can Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving stay healthy for the whole season? Two, will Kyrie Irving be available for the whole season? And three, will Ben Simmons mentally be able to stay in this groove and not kind of collapse?
I think all of those questions are answered with the same answer. That answer is no.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Well, Kevin Durant always seems to get injured at a random time, doesn't he? I don't know if it's just an age thing, but it seems the last few seasons he's always had ankle issues, which he did tear his Achilles, right?
Yeah.
So
that which has been rough. That's never easy, especially when one of the bigger muscles when it comes to basketball.
Right, and then Kyrie, who you don't know if he's going to show up. I think this season
stay
he's
out of legal drama to save himself.
Right. I mean, he's really pushing the limit sometime, and luckily, if Kanye West wasn't around, he'd have more attention drawn to him. So
maybe that's a good thing for him. Well, I know it's good that Brooklyn's at least got those other two All-Stars, but will Ben Simmons return to his All-Star status, Alex?
I'd like to think so. I think he's not a total scrub. Like, I don't think he'll ever be like he's just a role player guy. I don't think it's going to be anything like that for him again.
That's good.
So I'd say yeah.
All right. I think I kind of agree. I like to see him on a team where he's a solid number 2 guy. He's going to be in there day in and day out. But, with KD and Kyrie in front of him, he's kind of a meh kind of a guy there, I feel.
He's a nice complimentary third.
I feel like he's always wanted to be a solid number 2, and I thought he had that with Philly, but I guess not.
Well, he kind of got bullied out of Philly, so that's And speaking of bullying, the Netherlands beating Team USA 3-1. But you know what? It doesn't matter, and here's why. First of all, the loss was a pity loss. It wasn't even because Team USA was bad.
Aren't they out of the tournament though?
Let me get there.
Oh, okay.
So the reason that Team USA lost was actually they felt so bad that they were just so much better than any of the other competition. They felt it was unfair for them to continue in this tournament.
Really? Wow. Mm-hmm. And why is that, Alex?
Well, my sources tell me that the committee that monitors the competitive fairness in the World Cup, they informed me directly that they thought Team USA was just too good. So they told them to throw the game to the Netherlands.
Wow.
And that's on God, baby girl.
On God, baby girl.
And speaking of that, I have some fun facts too.
That needs to really go on a t-shirt.
USA versus Netherlands, historically.
Okay.
USA has 30 SEC championships to Netherlands 0. So hold that L.
That's big.
Famous Super Bowls. 56 Super Bowl wins for USA. Wow. Netherlands 0. Yep. Oh. Netherlands 0 MLS teams.
How many does US have?
USA has at least more than 2, I think.
More than 2. All right.
More than 2. So America is still number 1. Doesn't matter that they are out of this World Cup, but I thought we need to update our viewers on the situation there.
Wow. Will we be covering any more of the World Cup with the USA out of it?
No.
Harsh. But you know what we will still continue to cover, Alex?
What's that?
The real football. Forget soccer. We're here for American NFL football, where we reign supreme. And you know what reigns supreme? The Bills. They showed the Patriots that they still aren't good enough to do anything. Big shocker. Bills beat Patriots 24-10. Oh my goodness, please fire Matt Patricia. Please get him away from the offense. Even Mac Jones said the running game was horrible, and you could see, I'm sure it's all over social media. I believe he is quoted on saying, stop running the ball and to throw the effing ball. I mean, I feel like it was a pretty balanced game as far as, calling plays. It was not very balanced in the scoreboard. It was not very balanced anytime at all. I mean, the Patriots had a nice 7-0 lead, and that quickly ended. It was a very sad game. I'm glad I predicted the Bills to win. That keeps me on my win streak. Sorry, Patriots. No offense to you. Wish I could like you more, but you guys continue to let me down.
Yeah, well, my prediction was 28-17 Bills. So pretty close. We got the right prediction. I mean, we both didn't really think the Patriots are going to win this game. You had a much closer prediction, though. So
I was really hoping, they were playing in Gillette. I was giving them the benefit of the doubt after having a great Thanksgiving game. And, the offense finally had a full game where they played 60 minutes of football. I didn't think they were going to implode, but honestly, I should have known. It's hard experiencing what Bears fans feel every year. Same with the Lions fans all at once. And, I got to say, they're some of the toughest fans out there. At least we'll start winning more than them at some point, and much faster, and we'll rebuild much better. I know that much.
Hey, fun fact. In the last 6 games, Bills have won 5 of them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, Tom Brady left, and they finally figured it out. You better hope those rumors about Brady coming back aren't true, Bills fans.
Oh boy, I'm sure they're shivering in their boots. Yeah, Matt Patricia calling the plays is pretty puke-tastic. And speaking of puke-tastic football, we have the Thursday Night Football preview. Raiders versus Rams. This game's going to be horrible.
I'm looking at the ratings, Alex, and I don't even want to tell the viewers. This is embarrassing. Thursday Night Football is a sham. It is Raiders at Rams, with Raiders having an egregious 5.5-point spread. I feel like it should be more. Maybe. I don't know. Because the Rams haven't been able to do anything. But maybe that defense can maybe keep that horrible excuse for a Super Bowl team in it. We have a whole whopping 7 quality, Alex. A whopping 10 importance with these out-of-conference matchups. And would you like to give me a guess at the overall? I mean, you can take 7, add it to 10, and divide it in half and kind of guess.
So it's got to be around 8, probably?
It's 9.
Oh, wow. Even better.
I physically have to hold myself back from puking because this looks disgusting. I don't want it. Touch it, Alex. I don't want it.
So, I suppose we have to make a prediction, right?
I predict I will be playing COD and not watching this game.
Oh, well, same. I have no interest in watching this game. Here's the thing. I think the spread's fair because the Rams' offensive line has been horrible. They've been injury-ridden. Matthew Stafford has to get the ball out quick, and everyone knows where it's going. Probably Cooper Kupp, because Allen Robinson can't beat anyone on the outside.
Are either of those guys healthy for this game? I thought Cooper Kupp was on IR.
I think actually both of them are hurt. So even worse. So they have no line, backup players, garbage. So you know what? I'm going to predict a slight blowout. I'm going to say Raiders are going to win this game 28-14. I think that is, it's 2 scores. It's pretty decent.
They did lose today to the Seahawks. The Rams did 27-23, which is a little interesting. I know the Raiders had an okay day. Defense, really questioning myself here. 28-14, huh? You know what? I'm going to go super similar here. Give me 28 for the Raiders, so they're going to win this game. Give me 20 for the Rams. It looks like even without Matthew Stafford or Cooper Kupp, against mediocre teams, they look to be able to score. The Raiders are definitely that. I'm okay with giving them 20. I think that's fair.
I think it's fair. I'm kind of underestimating
that's fair.
The Rams a little bit.
They're both coming off a short week. It's the end of the season. It's almost time to start playing draft position battles, and see where you can get your pick to fall. A lot of teams who didn't care about that, Alex. Very interesting with our 5:30 greats from last week. Let's review those. The Dolphins versus the 49ers. This is going to come up as a bit of a surprise, Alex. You had the big boy Tuas coming out here and winning this game, and what do you know? Look who laid down the schmeat. The 49ers beat the Dolphins 33-17.
Embarrassing, honestly.
Wild. I wasn't too far off. I had 28-21 Niners. I feel like did I get the total points right? I'm actually really curious. 49 to 50. All right, I was off by 1 point total. That's pretty good.
Well, I was off by score and winner pretty badly, and I assumed that Tua was just going to show up, but nope. The Dolphins kind of sucked.
Rough for them. I mean, obviously they're kind of a playoff lock at this point. You're definitely a solid wild card team, Dolphins. We'll see if you can pull the East away from the Bills. I know it's very close. Head-to-head's going to come into play, and I can't wait to see you guys play again.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's move over to the next game where I also predicted the wrong winner. Thoughts?
We both did, unfortunately.
We did. Bengals versus the Chiefs. 27-24, Bengals win this game. Looked like Joe Burrow had a pretty decent game because my phone kept going off with all the touchdowns he was throwing. And so my prediction last week was 38-33 with Mahomes on a game-winning drive. And that did not happen.
I think Joe Cool heard you and said, nah, let me F this bitch up. I mean, I also picked Mahomes. I was hating on a Bengals team that's been kind of mediocre this year. They get a big win. Honestly, this is huge for them. Keeps them in the running for that NFC North, keeping right up with the Ravens there. And you know what? You never know.
It's all about getting hot at the right time.
It really is. I think it's time to look at our 5:30 greats for this coming week.
Yes, we have a couple good ones actually this week.
We sure do.
Some big divisional games here. First one, the Browns are taking on the Bengals. So this game currently is rated a 84 quality, 62 importance, and 73 overall. Bengals are favored by 5. We're going to see one of our favorite players in this game.
Oh, are we? I mean, yes. Joe Burr?
Oh, I'm talking about the other one, too.
The other one? Do you mean Bill Cosby's playing?
Bill Cosby is playing.
Oh, brother.
He had an okay game this past week, but...
Yes, but he also played the Texans, who can't even decide who they want to play at quarterback.
This game, big divisional game. I mean,
it is big for the Bengals.
It is, because they're still chasing the Ravens.
Yep. I mean, they're getting closer, and honestly, if they keep winning, looks like they're going to have an AFC North championship game on January 8th. They do end the season against each other. It's going to be fun. I was looking at their schedule earlier.
Yeah, I think but Browns really don't have a chance, I don't think.
It's going to be how well can Nick Chubb run the ball?
Pretty much. And Bengals defense looked really good against the Chiefs this past week.
They sure did. Shut them out in the fourth quarter, by the way.
Yes. So I think I'll give my prediction. So 5-point spread. I like it. You know, divisional game. I don't want to say a rivalry, but you know, give me the Bengals 24-20. 4-point spread. Pretty close game, but I think Bengals will eke it out.
I'm going to go a little higher. Give me 28-20 Bengals.
You think Joe Burrow's going to show up?
I think Joe Burrow's going to show up. I mean, he looked great against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's got to look even better against a guy who hasn't played football in a year and a half.
I hope so, unless this is a trap game.
It might be, but they're playing at home. He's Joe Cool, man. Doesn't matter, trap game or not. He is on his game. He looks great no matter what he does, and I think he'll keep it. And isn't Jamar Chase slated to return this game, or did he return last week? I don't remember if he played in that Chiefs game.
I honestly don't remember. I don't think Jamar was back.
But who cares? Who needs Jamar? We've got T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd who do great.
Burrow makes him look good.
And Jamar J.P. Ryan has looked great with Joe Mixon being out.
Yeah. So this is a great division game, for sure.
It is. And you know what? We got another great division game. Actually, arguably something better and even more important, Alex. Eagles-Giants.
Ooh, yep.
Eagles got a 6.5-point spread. They're playing at MetLife Stadium there in New Jersey. Fake New York Jets. Or Giants, my bad. 75 quality, 86 importance, 81 overall. This is big because, any Cowboys fan is rooting for the Giants here. They want a big upset and help close that gap. Eagles only got a 2-game lead on them. Every game for them counts, and they need some help along the way.
Well, and it's not like the Giants are all that far behind either.
No, they're really not. This is a big game for them too, and you would hope they could come in, but Eagles handled Derrick Henry very well last game, and pretty much just beat the Titans and absolutely smothered them.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of scared looking at that. You kind of hope Saquon Barkley can do something here. You hope he's not going to have like one of his like off weeks where he just doesn't do anything. This isn't your time to be bad, Saquon. This is your time to show why you put Danny Dimes on your back and carry him. I believe in the Eagles defense a little more here, and I am going to take the Eagles. I do like I'm going to round up and call it a 7-point spread. And you know what? I might go a little bit more here. Give me the Eagles 28-19 here.
That's a weird number.
It is. I have a feeling they're going to get really close to the end zone a couple of times, but the Giants are going to have to kick a couple of field goals, and that's what's going to be the problem there.
Okay.
So I'm feeling just a little weird there. Maybe they mix in like a 2-point conversion at one point to like tie it up before halftime, You never know what Brian Daboll is going to do.
I like your scores, but I don't like the spread.
All right.
I think it's going to be a closer game. I think Giants are going to show up. They want this bad. Eagles have been flying high for quite a while now.
Surely have.
So I am going to take the Eagles, but give me, I like your 28. Give me 28-24.
Ooh. All right.
I think it's going to be a close one. I think Daniel Jones is going to look okay. I'm not going to come out here and say he looks amazing, but that team is doing decent, and part of it's because of him and his ability to make plays with his legs. So
fair enough. And speaking of teams doing decent, Alex, it is my turn for power rankings. And I've kind of looked at our other power rankings, and we it's hard to like kick out top teams. And we've had a lot of similarities. Only one bad difference with my stupid Patriots pick, unfortunately. I have to admit that one. They looked good one time, and I trusted them, and that backfired. But you know what? I'm trusting another team here. At number 5, I am trusting the Bengals to solidify themselves here. They looked great. They had a great shootout with Patrick Mahomes, shut him out in the fourth quarter. Joe Cool said, hey, we had a bad start. You just wait. We're gonna be that team. At number 4, it was kind of hard to put them here, but like I can't deny them this spot because of their record, and they're just a good team. The Vikings. They barely beat up the Jets. They won 27-22 this last week. You got Mike White at quarterback for the Jets, and the Vikings are just out here doing mediocre things, but working, leading the NFC North. Can't deny that. Just keep Aaron Rodgers out of a playoff spot is all I ask you. It's 3 NFC teams to 2 AFC teams, and here's the next AFC team. AFC team, Alex, I kind of spoiled it there, is the Bills at number 3. They're back on top in the AFC. They're the number 1 seed in the AFC. If the season were to end right now, got a great Dolphins loss for them to the Niners, who I almost also put on this list. I really wanted to put them at 5, but thought the Bengals were more deserving. Number 2, got to put them here. And I'd like to put them at 1, but I just can't. I have the Eagles.
Oh my God.
You know what's coming, and I'm gonna talk about it here in a little bit. They are looking good. They've had some close games the last couple weeks. They haven't been these amazing blowouts. I had to take into effect that they lost to the Commanders recently. They haven't looked like that dominant team. They've had really close games. It looks like they gotta win it late sometimes. Especially there was that game against the Colts, and I'm taking the season as a whole right now, and I got to be careful. They look great against Derrick Henry. I can't deny them that. It looks like the run defense has been great. Just got to solidify up that pass defense, and I think they can make it back to 1. What they really have to do is that they have a Christmas game against the Cowboys, Alex. They need to seal. I would hope they seal the division before then, but Christmas is going to be. I guess they play on the 24th, not on Christmas. It's a big game for them, and they need to beat the Cowboys. And speaking of the Cowboys, I have them at number 1.
I figured.
Scoring, I forget how much it was.
It was 33 points in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
1 point
actually,
short
it
of
was
the
in
NFL
13
record.
minutes, Alex. They scored all that before the 2-minute warning. I know they were playing the Colts. I know Matt Ryan has just been on it was a steady decline in Atlanta, and you've really seen how far he's fallen with this trade to the Colts. And but they were in it, Alex, right up until the fourth quarter. I really thought the Cowboys were going to lose that game. I thought maybe Matt Ryan had something in the tank, some some sort of spite from that 28-3 loss, or something he had, and I had hope. But no, the Cowboys go and drop 54 points. This is outrageous. They've scored 54, 40, and 30 plus in multiple weeks. They really look like a full team. I know we keep joking about their first round exit, and I'm really hoping if we keep putting them on this pedestal, they will crash even faster. Is another reason I did this.
The higher the higher you fly, the harder you fall. So.
It's true, and I'm. This is a twofold thing. It's one because I have to, and two because I'm secretly putting on their downfall. So I really hope you understand what I'm doing here.
Like reverse psychology, I respect it. Yeah. I think that is you're doing this for the right reasons. Thank you.
But they are getting hot. They're looking great. I really thought they were going to beat the Packers, and I think they would have had a more legitimate chance to win the East had they beaten the Packers. But the really key for them here is to win out if they really want that top spot in the NFC. Because I think if they can easily steal it from the Eagles, and that means they would also steal it from the Vikings because they have the head win.
All right, well, thank you for those power rankings, Vic. And I think we're going to move over to gaming part of the podcast, starting with Steam Decks. So a little news came out that apparently Valve is giving away one Steam Deck for every minute that the Game Awards are going on. So what? That's like 3 hours. Wow. So like 180 Steam Decks.
Pretty good.
It is, and if I get a free Steam Deck out of it, I'd consider doing it.
Maybe it's just time to watch. I know we're coming up really close on these awards, so make sure you tune in. Maybe you too could win a Steam Deck, guys.
The only catch though is you have to watch it through Valve's streaming sites.
Ooh, that's
and you may be asking, Valve has a streaming site? News to me too. I didn't even know that. Jank version of Twitch, I guess.
Are we giving Twitch that much credit?
No, we're not, because Twitch is, going downhill very quickly. So apparently, Genshin Impact is allegedly bribing their players to vote for them for Game of the Year. In exchange, they get these things called Primo Gems, which is apparently some premium currency used within the game.
That is one hell of a bribe.
Who would have thought that the gaming company or the video game is doing pay to win, but like for them, they're not screwing over the players? Apparently, this all came out because on Twitter, people noticed that all of a sudden Genshin Impact took this big boost in votes over the course of like 7 hours. So people are starting to be like, wonder how that just all of a sudden appeared. So my question to you is, what if Genshin Impact upset God of War for Game of the Year?
I'd be really surprised. I mean, obviously, they got a lot of foul play going on here, but man, it is hard to imagine that even God of War can get upset by voter fraud, to be honest with you.
It's tough. And I don't know. Do you know if like it's all just democracy, like, the people vote for this, or is it like, the people vote, but like there's the media, or not media votes, like the analysts, like, so that way they can't just bot votes like in this situation?
That would be interesting. I haven't looked that hard into the Game Awards. I thought it was mainly community based. It was, awards by the people for their games, for the community. So I'd be interested to see this. I wonder if they'll release those stats, or I wonder if they will maybe just take Genshin Impact out of the running altogether.
If it's really that bad, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe, you'll just let the votes come in, let the players get their freemium currents, and then just don't do anything about it.
Basically punishing Genshin Impact for giving away currency for free.
Honestly, that'd be kind of the pro gamer move. Alex, what's really interesting is the Army is targeting a new demographic to get recruitments. New documents are showing they're spending millions of dollars of recruiting Gen Z through gaming-related sponsorships and ad campaigns, Alex.
Shocker. Who could have seen this coming, right? All these kids like, I have a 4KD in COD. I could easily kill people in Desert Storm.
Here you go. But yeah, the partnerships range from, Call of Duty Twitch streamers to sponsoring, content on IGN and G4, with the aim of, familiarizing people with, the Army values. You see them all over TV, and, they're just trying to bolster their reputation to young people and be like, hey, you know what you can do? If you can do it sitting in your living room, you can do it out in the world.
Is this predatory behavior? To be honest,
I mean, when is the government not?
Yeah, apparently I heard something a while ago that was there was something where they were trying to figure out how to control a submarine. What do you call that? Not a stethoscope, periscope. That's it. The thing that you
yes.
Apparently they figured out that using an Xbox controller was the best way to do it. So they've already taken things from gaming and implemented it into their warfare.
Oh, yeah. Look at drones. They're all pilotless and they're, controlled remotely. It's just a joystick, really. It's like playing Flight Simulator.
I just had a thought. Do you know those first-person view drones? They do the racing and stuff?
Oh, boy.
Can you imagine some kid wearing a headset, doing bombings with a first-person drone? Just
Man. I really hope the $600,000 they spend on the Twitch advertising is worth it.
We're doomed. We're doomed.
We really are. Honestly, it's kind of dirty. I'd love to hear your studs and dud for the week.
All right. Get ready for this one.
Okay.
My stud this week are my Green Bay Packers, baby. Suck it, Bears fans. I mean, you thought you were good? You thought Justin Fields was getting better? Don't care. Did he drag his nuts across our face? No. He had one good run that game. And they lost on pretty much a game-losing interception. Well, he threw 2 interceptions. So that's my stud. Rodgers looked pretty darn good. I don't think their season is salvageable, but I don't care. Rodgers still owns your franchise. Be gone. 1985 was years ago. You're irrelevant. No earnings. Dog water. And speaking of dog water, my dud. I know I hyped them up a little bit before, but the U.S. men's soccer team. I know I said they threw, and perhaps they did, but I would have liked to have seen a little better effort. They didn't have to throw that badly. They could have just lost 0-1. That would have gotten the job done, but no, they kind of got blown out. So that's my dud.
If you're gonna lose in fashion. Speaking of wanting more effort, Alex, my dud may come as a little bit of a weird one. I'm going with George Pickens of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What?
Yeah. Dude, he had a horrible week.
Give me his stats. How bad was this?
2 targets.
Okay.
1 reception, 2 yards. He is the wide receiver number 2 on that team. And physically got Chase Claypool traded away so he could be the number 2 receiver. Now, granted, Claypool wasn't doing much of an effort to be the number 2 wide receiver, but you got to think with Juju leaving and, Deontay Johnson being really the only other valuable target to the Steelers, Claypool should have been like a lock for at least wide receiver 2. Because Deontay Johnson had a great year last year. He's continued to have an okay year this year. I think he went for 5 for 60 today. But George Pickens bringing in a whole whopping 1.2 fantasy points today after, being the fantasy, sleeper of the year, honestly. He had a great preseason coming into the season. I drafted him kind of late. He did okay.
This is personal. That's what this is about.
I might be
because of fantasy.
Personal. And then I might have dropped him before he had a good week, and then he went to someone else. And then, it's just nice to see him sucking it somewhere else. But never this bad. He has never been this bad. This has been his worst game this year, I can say, of his career because he's a rookie. But holy crap, to be a wide receiver 2 and to get your, targets taken away by a tight end number 2, their top 3 fantasy score, Alex's, were... I guess top 4, because, obviously I believe their quarterback was, and then it was Deontay Johnson. Najee Harris had an okay day. I don't know where he ranked, but looking at targets, it was Deontay Johnson, tight end, running back. It had been Najee Harris. And then 4 more running backs, and then George Pickens. Look, my hand is off my screen right now. That is how far down he was for fantasy points. He just didn't do anything that game. He was locked up.
Hey, now you know how all the wide receivers after Devontae Adams felt when they were playing in Green Bay.
Yeah, well, at least, you got Watson. He's doing great.
He's actually looked really good. Like, he's starting to come into his own.
You know what? Maybe he should have been my stud this week with those 2 touchdowns. I'm now realizing he probably should have been. But instead, I went with someone that's been a dud. I don't know if he's ever been a stud, but Alex, I went with a running back here. Can you guess?
Barkley?
Ooh, really close. I went with Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, okay.
He reeled in 8 receptions for 80 yards and a touchdown and another 66 yards on the ground today. Had a pretty good day against that Dolphins team.
Good to see he's starting to come to his own in that offense and actually being
really
used.
Is, and even though they are probably favored to win the NFC West, again, to go back to our quick chats, no, they're not winning the NFC all the way.
No.
But it is good to see him getting in there, and, hopefully this is something they can build on for next year, and maybe they can be a contender. But, of course, as always, Alex, it is a pleasure being here with you and recording these. It is a pleasure for you viewers being here. We're glad to see you guys interacting with the video. We're happy for everything you do for us. We'd like to ask for your continued support. We love it. Everything counts. Every little bit counts. Please like and subscribe and ring that bell for notifications for when new videos go live. Please continue to put love in the comment section. We love seeing comments and any feedback, and also your hashtag quick chats. Make sure you put that in your comment as well so we remember to add it. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Griefer Hour.